Hey everyone, Christian here, and I'm going to do another review here of this Copernicia. It's not a nearly mature, but it's hard to find these mature in outside of their habitat. This is Copernicia ekmanii. It has a common name to it, but no one ever uses it. You can look it up. I never use it, so coming to my mind, I can't think of it. It's better just to call it ekmanii. And it's funny because all of the palms that have the species name ekmanii, they're named after a man named Ekman, are quite sought after. You have Copernicia ekmanii, you have Coccothrinax ekmanii, you have Hemithrinax ekmaniana. There's a couple others that are not coming to mind, but they're very desirable. I'm gonna wait for this chopper to come by here. But so this palm is endemic to the northern coast of Haiti. And as a result, it's not that easy to get a hold of seed of this plant. It's just not a very visited area. It's not a touristy area. In fact, it's quite dangerous. I can tell you a story from a friend of mine who actually he left by boat from the northern coast of the Dominican Republic. So Haiti's the western side of Hispaniola, Dominican Republic's the eastern side. It's divided in the middle, and it's very hard to get through these areas due to political strife that's going on, or economic issues that are going on in Haiti. So they left by boat, and they went through waters, and he told me that he thought he would never see land again. He thought he was going to die at sea. And then they came up on a town, and these were growing everywhere. They were very tall, and they were snow white as far as their leaflets. As you can see, that's the regular green color and the white that comes out, and it stays on there. It's a very waxy white. For reference, here's a nice silvery Baileyiana. So it has that silvery color, but this whiteness is it's probably the brightest colored Copernicia that there is. Unfortunately, it does have its downsides. There's a few Copernicias that are from Haiti, such as this ekmanii, and also Copernicia berteriana, which is a nice palm, but it doesn't really have any defining characteristics. It looks like a Washingtonia, but it's very cold sensitive, and so is this. These don't like frost at all. In fact, they'll burn in a frost, and in a freeze can almost wipe them out. The spear will pull, and this one's doing all right. It had a little bit of damage from the hurricane in there. The upside to these palms is they definitely grow faster than the other Cuban Copernicias, and so these plants will do better for you as far as speed goes. They will also have this purplish brown petiole base. The old bases will, and it's very very typical of this species. And they will be armed just like any Copernicia. Those are not fun to get your fingers stuck in, or gloves, or any other part of your body. So these aren't easy to find in these sizes, but there are a few guys out there that do sell them. And to give you an idea, this is probably 5 or 6 years. Yeah, this is probably 5 years old, and this Baileyiana is probably 8 years old, just give or take. And their root structures are actually a lot different too. If you look at this Baileyiana and look down here, these roots are just blown out of the pot, like basically busting the bottom of the pot out. Where here, with a much larger plant and base, not much larger, but it's noticeable, you really don't get that. I mean, there are roots that are kind of coming at the edge, but they're not as adventitious, I guess you could say. So now I have grown seed of this a couple times. The seed's very typical of Copernicia. It's very spherical, about 3 or 4 millimeters in actually a little bigger than that. Yeah, 5 to 6 millimeters in 10 millimeters centimeter. Yeah, so 5 millimeters in width, or in diameter, I should say. And they like hot, wet conditions. They grow on that northern coast. It's a little bit drier than the other parts of the country, but they still enjoy the tropical weather. They usually enjoy tropical, wet and dry, kind of mixed, like a hot, wet summer and I guess it's still a hot winter down there. So, but they do well in our cooler winters that are drier. They don't seem to have a problem with that. So, they want full sun, just like any Copernicia does. In fact, Copernicia berteriana likes a little bit shadier. So, but they're really nice. Again, really, this is a zone 10 10A at the least. I mean, at least. It's not going to do well in areas that get any sort of regular frost or freeze. So I've seen the last time we had a big freeze in 2011, I saw plants that died in West Palm Beach. So with that said, be very careful with this plant. If you get one and you spend a decent amount of money on it, you don't want to lose it in a freeze. So that's one of the biggest downsides of this plant. Besides probably the difficulty in acquiring it, and the price is a little bit higher than most plants. So otherwise, it's great. If you get the seed, use a nice use a well draining mix, but plenty of heat, plenty of water, and they should pop pretty easily. Copernicias do actually germinate pretty well. They're just very slow plants. When I say this is faster, I mean this is probably at a 1 out of 10. It's probably a 4. So yeah, that's about it for Copernicia ekmanii. If you enjoyed the video, give it a thumbs up. If you are new to the channel, go ahead and subscribe, and you'll see many more palm reviews. And if you have any more questions about Copernicias that are not from Cuba, leave them down below, and I will answer them as soon as I can. So anyways, thanks for watching, and see you guys next time.